Liverpool.com. And that's going to bring us, I think, to some stuff about Florian Wirtz and some stuff about, transfer links. We'll get there in a second. And again, you've heard this to death, so I'm not going to be bringing you anything new. It's not like I'm breaking to you that Florian Wirtz is arriving or any of the details around that. In fact, I don't want to do that. I'm not really interested in the wages conversation. You've already heard them broken down. I have an angle on it today, which I found very, very interesting. So there is an article on Liverpool.com. At the top of it says, Florian Wirtz transfer will have hidden Liverpool benefit that Dominic Szoboszlai just hinted at. Now, I came to that after I had first been on This Is Anfield and read their article by Joanna Durkin. And her headline is, Dominic Szoboszlai says he won't, quote, give up my place that easily, unquote, to Florian Wirtz. This seems to be a very different thing. And so I said, let's get into this piece from Joanna and see what this is all about. And it says, I'm going to skip down a little bit into it. She refers to him as the workhorse for Arne Slot's side throughout the 24-25 season. Mentions his tireless performances, which were notable when he wasn't in the side. It's a very good point. Not the powerful midfield goal scorer Liverpool expected, but his out of possession works makes him a valuable asset in the middle of our pitch. All spot on. But here we get to the quotes that I thought were very interesting. With all eyes on Liverpool's statement transfer, it was put to Szoboszlai at an end-of-season event with his agency that Wirtz could make it hard for him to be named in the 11. Okay, so someone's out stirring the pot. He was emphatic in his response via Ogun Crew. I have no idea who that is, but anyway, here we go. I presume that's the organization question. And here we go, the quotes. Quote, well, if you say that my situation will be made more difficult, then let's wait and see what happens after pre-season. In the end, you might be right, but I don't give up my place that easily. And I think he knows that getting into a Premier League winning team takes work. Unquote there. Then pressed if he is at all afraid of the Germans' arrival, Szoboszlai said, quote, no. Of course, if they buy a player for 150 million euros, it's likely they won't keep him on the bench. But then we have to find the opportunity for the two of us to play together. Now, I think that's very, very interesting. And the quotes taken and spoken about in a very specific light, which seems altogether different from the Liverpool.com article headline. I'll remind you of it again. Florian Wirtz transfer will have hidden benefit Dominic Szoboszlai just hinted at, right? Let's click on that now and see what that says. How can this be different? Because, of course, this is very much relevant to us, all of us, who are wondering how the team will line up now with the new arrivals. So let's see what the different slant is here. It begins, this is by Liverpool.com, Matt Allison, and Matt begins, Florian Wirtz will not be the last player that Liverpool signs this summer in all likelihood, but he might well be the most expensive, and it might be by some distance. While the transfer has not been made officially confirmed yet, it is understood that Liverpool have a deal in place and so on and so forth. Breaks down the money, medical, and talks about him being someone who can elevate the team like Alisson did and like Virgil did. Wirtz's direct impact, though, Matt continues about halfway down his article here, is just one way he will improve the team. In addition to making those around him better by providing quality chances for them to score from, he will also level up the competition within the roster. Now we're getting to it. Let's get down to the bit. Yeah, Wirtz's arrival will mean that someone has to drop out of the first choice starting 11, assuming that he hits the ground running, as you would expect, and that the Liverpool team is built around him and Mohamed Salah. And asked if he was worried about losing his place, here we go. This is the quotes from Dom. Dom Szoboszlai said, and this is, no, I don't think so. He knows that getting into a Premier League team is going to be hard work. He goes on about the transfer fee, the quotes I've just given you. About we'll see how it goes after pre-season. I'm still looking for this article that's going to make sense of the quote is going to make sense of the headline of this article. And it just seems to be opinion. In signing Wirtz, Liverpool get an incredible player who's arguably in the top 10 soccer stars in the world. It will also, though, get a better version of Szoboszlai and others as they are driven to keep up with the high standards. So I guess it's just him saying, I'm not going to give up easily. Now we move to a different person talking about it. Playing with two number 10s worked nicely for the Liverpool boss, Arne Slot against City. Slot says Dominic's playing as an 8 with Ryan as a 6 and Harvey a bit more forward. Dominic sees his best position as an 8 as well, so it'll be interesting to see how he does. That's based on an earlier game. Yeah, looks like Matt has taken the quotes and interpreted them completely different, which, just like the first little piece that I did with you, interesting, isn't it? How you can look at two different things from two different ways and come up with two different stories. And I guess that's what people are in the position of doing in this summer transfer window. I wanted to talk to you about this Alexander Isak stuff while it's still relevant, because an awful lot of people are dismissing it still out of hand. They talk about how unlikely it is. My simple response to that would be like, well, why not? Why not? If it can be financed in the right way, why not? Now, Julian Alvarez would, I think, remain for some of us who might be in the minority, if it was a straight choice between the two, the preferred option. But we did see old Romano there saying that it would probably need to be a swap deal, and it just does look like a lot of the wind has gone out of the sails of that, especially with Darwin Núñez being linked so heavily to Napoli. So the Isak thing, well, why do I still say why not? Because, well, there's still money to be made from sales, and you don't know what's going on in anyone's mind until they say it. Why would he decide to remain loyal to a team who are breaking into the Champions League with all that requires in terms of the extension to your season, in terms of effort and depth of quality and squad required to get through all competitions successfully? That ain't easy. We've seen how teams struggle when they make the Champions League, in inverted commas, and then it just is an incredible strain on the squad that they have. Why wouldn't he think, well, if I go to Liverpool, I'm going to be competing for the two big pots straight away, not in them. And what was it? Was it Dave I saw maybe recently saying, the best players don't want to be in the Champions League. They want to win the Champions League, which is exactly where I've always come from as well. So don't underestimate what the pulling power of Liverpool would be in that regard for Isak. And there are a couple of things here I want to look at. One is a quote from, this is from a website called Geordie Boot Boys, fair play, and someone called Liam Brusby has written this article. And it's sharing the opinion of Ben Jacobs, who I think has a sort of an in there with Newcastle from what I've heard from a couple of people. And he says, quote, Isak remains, like with Arsenal, the dream target. That's for Liverpool. But Liverpool feel like there could be a window of opportunity in the coming weeks, even though we have to respect Newcastle and their position is still not for sale. Liverpool's perspective is it might be worth trying nonetheless. And I'm told they're prepared to do so, as they did with Wirtz. What they might be prepared to do is offer Newcastle a guaranteed £100 million and then package overall that might even surpass the 116 that Liverpool agreed with Leverkusen for Wirtz. And he continues, naturally, Liverpool know this is a difficult deal to pull off. Newcastle insiders insist that with Champions League football, they hold all the cards. Isak's well paid and contracted, and maybe even an offer of £150 million would not change Newcastle's mind. Liverpool may still try for Alexander Isak before moving for another target. Now, we'll get there in a second because, of course, we're told that good old palindrome boy, Hugo Ekitike, is simply sitting by the phone waiting for us to say, actually, you know what, we will take you, lad. I find a lot of problems with that. Not the concept of that being a reality, but yeah, we may decide in the end to take Hugo Ekitike, but if we failed in a couple of other pursuits, the selling club will know clearly that we're in a position where we'll be willing to pay big money. And why wouldn't they insist on massive money for a guy who, the people I trust, who I listen to, who watch a lot of football, would say to you would represent a massive gamble at the reported fee. So again, just on the Isak thing, football sage Danny Murphy says the big thing about at Liverpool is who comes in and who goes out. I'm hypothesizing here, says Danny, and it probably won't happen. But there has been some news about Isak possibly going to Liverpool. I know that sounds a bit wow. Why? But can you imagine? Says Danny. All of a sudden, of course, Liverpool are favourites. Okay. Maybe you can hear me rubbing frantically at my hair-free noggin here, because this kind of thing just makes me insane. Here's the thing. Liverpool are favourites. Own it. Embrace it. Just like all the great teams do when they have a period of dominance. Expect to be favourites. Expect that even though City have all the resources in the world and Arsenal have simply the greatest team of footballers ever put together, TM, that we are actually the favourites. And by adding Isak and Kirkes and Frimpong, and by making our squad actively better than it was when we won the league at a relative canter, we are the favourites. Much as Danny finds that to be shocking, we're the favourites now. We're the favourites before we sign Isak. Obviously, you get a quality scorer in instead of the objectively misfiring entity that is Darwin Núñez. You then become a better team. We don't need Mo Salah to produce at the extraordinary level that he did if we have a regularly scoring number 9 and Florian Wirtz kicking in with a load of goals from the far side. It's just a better team. And if the team is better, then of course we're favourites.
The Reds, it's Jack here, and that was a clip from one of Anfield Index's audio podcasts. If you have enjoyed the video, make sure you do like, share and subscribe to keep up to date on all things LFC. We record around 100 audio podcasts every month, with our shows featuring match-going fans, top journalists, professional analysts and even Liverpool legends along the way, with the great Dane himself, Jan Molby, joining us every single week. If you want to listen to all our podcasts for free, head over to anfieldindex.com/podcasts. Our audio shows are available wherever you get your podcasts. Just search Anfield Index. Or if you prefer to listen to all our podcasts in full and without any ads, why not head over to AI Pro today to check it out now at anfieldindexpro.com. If you want to get involved in the great growing community of Liverpool fans, check out the Anfield Index Discord. The link is in the description. Do get involved with that, from Reds around every corner of the globe. For now, Reds, hope you enjoyed this video.